guys doing? I um I apologize for the lighting. The lighting isn't very good in here, and I have to make do with what I have. Um, I've been on the internet um actively since 2007, maybe about 2007, and I've joined um, many social networks around 2009, and I have been on YouTube, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. But I'm building to a point. Um, and I'm really wanting to avoid talking about Google Plus and YouTube because it's all kind of mixed up right now. Um, and I know many of us we don't like change, but change change comes and we get used to it. I remember how upset everybody was when the Facebook started doing the timeline thing. But I think everybody's pretty used to it right now. So things are kind of rough around the edges right now with Google and YouTube. So, but what I'm saying is just give it a little bit of time. They'll work out the kinks and the bugs, and everything will be fine. We'll get used to it. We'll move on, and then they'll come up with another big change. But um, so yeah, I've been social networking for a long time. 3 years is a long time. That's like having a job. I've worked at my job for 5 years, almost 5 years. So, um, it's a lot of invested time. But one of the things that I've learned being on the internet is while you are making friends with people, you're getting to know people, um, and but really, a point comes where you can't really tell who is on the other side of the camera. You can't really tell. Um, on YouTube, or for that matter, on Facebook, I don't know who these people are. I mean, granted, I know them. Like, I know who my family members are. Like my cousin Mary, I know how she looks. I look at her pictures. I read her posts. I'm pretty sure that she is who she claims to be. But for those of you that I don't know personally, I don't know who you really are. You could be some 400-pound guy um, with a supply of pictures of some female, and you're posting them and making posts, and you got a lot of friends, but that's not who you really are. And my point is, I have no way of telling who you really are. Now, I'm starting to make some friends on YouTube. A lot of them I've met through doing ASMR videos, and um, people I've watched over the years. And I really kind of have to take things at face value, or for that matter, with a grain of salt, because um, getting to know people over YouTube, they show you a certain facet of their lives, and that's what we're doing. We're sharing with the world a certain facet of our lives, but we don't want you to know everything. There are things in my life that I wouldn't put out there because I don't want you to know. There are things in my life that I don't want even people that I see and am comfortable with on a daily basis to know. I just don't want them to know. And in many cases, it's really none of their business. It really isn't. So I don't share those things. I keep those things to myself. Um, like I said, I'm building to something. Now, there are some websites that offer you complete anonymity. YouTube has really kind of done away with that in certain aspects, in certain respects. But my point is this. Let me just go ahead and get on to my point. I had an experience today, this morning, with one of my YouTube friends. And I'm not going to say any names, but there was a person that was hanging out with us. And the hangout didn't work this morning for whatever reason. I don't know. But what ended up happening was the person, we ended up having to just chat, type what we wanted to say, hit enter, as opposed to doing the hangout with the camera and seeing each other and whatnot. But this person began to feel uncomfortable to me. I began to feel like, why is this person asking all of these questions? What are they doing? Now, it could be a number of things. First of all, the picture that they had up, I'm in doubt that that picture was them. All we could, the questions that they were asking kind of gave me the feeling that they were digging for information. And the fact of the matter is, that information isn't necessarily something that that person may have wanted to put out there. Like, the last time I was in a hangout, I said something, and it bothers me because I said to one of my YouTubers, "You're in such and such area, right?" And they went ahead and told me what state they were in, but I felt bad later because I'm like, what if they didn't want to put that information out there? Because there are some real creeps out there. And so, to my friend, if you're watching this, I would like to say I apologize. The next time we're going to hang out together, I will measure my questions. I will think about them before I just blurt them out there. because yesterday I was kind of excited because I was finally getting to hang out with you guys. But um, I'll be careful next time because um, I know there's some real whack jobs out there, and especially if you're a woman and they know how to manipulate information. I wouldn't want them to come and find you. I even kind of fear for myself. Now, it doesn't bother. You can watch any of my videos and figure out almost any information about me. I will just tell you I live in Mississippi. I'll even tell you what city I live in, but I'm not going to give you my full-fledged address. Even on Facebook, there's certain information that I make public to my Facebook friends, but for the most part, I have a lot of most of my information on lock. I have it. I have it so that only I can see it, or so that only certain friends can see it. Because the last thing I want is for someone to show up on my door unannounced. I mean, I call myself Smiling Observer, but you show up on my doorstep unannounced. I may not be smiling, and I may be observing you from the front side post and the rear side aperture. You gun aficionados should get that reference. But the point is, I've got to learn to be more careful on the internet, and you've got to learn to be more careful on the internet. The new street creds is really, let me rephrase that. The new streetwise is really, can you navigate the social networks on the internet? It's true. It's true. Because people get on the internet, and if you've never used the internet before, you haven't. You would be easily frightened. You could be easily intimidated. I've been on the internet long enough that I know when someone is trolling me. I can tell when people are being trolls. I've done some trolling of my own, but I've learned to not feed the trolls, and in most cases, I've matured past that, matured past being a troll. Even with my family, I used to say things on Facebook, just having fun. But to some of them can't take jokes, and there are a lot of people who they don't know how to have fun. My kind of fun may not necessarily be their kind of fun, so I have to be extra careful with them. I even have family members. This is a side note. I have family members that don't even contact me. They don't call me. They don't write me. They don't email me. They don't even click like on any of my posts. And, I don't know, whatever the case. But I try to have a good relationship with them regardless, especially when I see them in person. I'm still gonna hug them and love them because we're flesh and blood. We share the same blood. But when it comes to the internet, you've got to be careful because, like I said, you have no idea who you're dealing with on the other side of that camera. You don't know. So, when I'm on the internet and when I'm on YouTube, kind of taking things with a grain of salt. I kind of be careful. I try to measure myself. I'm not successful all the time, but I try to be careful. And as far as the trolls, you gotta stop and realize that on these social networking sites, you gotta look at it like this. Everything posted here are artistic works of fiction, and only a fool would take what's being posted seriously. Because if you look at it like that, then you'll understand that, hey, why should I take this seriously? I used to argue politics a lot on Facebook and on social networking sites, but I'm trying to get away from it. I'm trying to get away from it because, especially with the past 2 elections for president, all I've done is make black people mad with me because I'm not an Obama supporter. I'm not an Obama fan. Now, he is our president, and I respect that. He was elected, he won the election, boom, he's the president. I will still fall in line. I will still support our president. Even if in many cases I disagree with a lot of their policies. But a lot of the things that I've said and I've done, I've caused a lot of people to hate me to the point that people rarely click a like on my posts because I feel a certain way about politics. But I'm getting away from politics. I'm leaving it alone. As far as I'm concerned, whatever happens, happens. So I'm gonna leave that be because I don't want to make any enemies. Hey, let's stay friends. Let's just agree to disagree. And as far as anonymity, I would hope that people would begin to have respect for one another, respect others' privacy. I know there are some unspoken rules out there, and when you're dealing with someone you don't know their rules, you might ask a question that they might not want asked. They might not want to answer. And when I come upon a situation like that, I respect that person's, I respect their desire to not answer questions. And in some cases, when I ask a question and I feel it's too personal, if I feel it's too personal, I go ahead and dip it in the bud and be like, hey, I apologize. You don't have to answer that question. It was stupid of me to ask it in the first place. It's none of my business. Because if there's anything that I like doing, I like staying out of other people's business. I like not knowing other people's business. I enjoy that because it just it helps me to think better of them, especially if it's information about them that's going to cause me to look at them a certain way. I don't want to have to do that. It's just, I had an experience once. I got a job. It was a good paying job. Well, it was a good paying job for this area. And I was working with a certain individual, and she was a gossiper. She was a gossiper in the truest sense of the word, meaning not only will she talk about you behind your back, but she'll change the story Um, whether she'll change the story, she'll exaggerate to make you seem like you're worse than what you really are if you're bad at all. And working with her really kind of, I really wish I never met her because I didn't realize that she was such a terrible person. But that's just how she was. And um, when I started working with her, it didn't dawn on me, but she was telling me about the last person that used to work with her. And she was telling me all these mean, terrible things about this person. And before I know it, I started to believe these things. And then I had to work with the guy for a little bit. And I got to know him. And I learned that this dude isn't a bad guy at all. Sure, he may have his ways about himself. Everybody does. But he's not the terrible, horrible person that she made him out to be. And she was just the worst person ever. I don't like that. I don't like working with people like that. Um, I don't like even being around people like that. I don't even like it if I find myself gossiping. I really don't like that. I hate it, and I try to not do it. I try to when I catch myself, I stop myself, and I tell myself, "Well, that's not my business. Let me leave that alone." But I'm kind of getting off the beaten track here. My point is, when it comes to the internet, you've got to be careful because you really don't know who you're dealing with. You really don't know what you're dealing with. And we could think of a million horror stories. I could think of a million horror stories. But all I'm saying is be careful. Be careful. Because there are some real whack jobs out there. So, this wasn't necessarily the ASMR video I wanted to make. If you can't tell by the paneling behind me, I am at my public library. Because, excuse me. So that's why my lighting is so terrible. That has been one of my biggest struggles since doing YouTube videos is proper lighting. And also I'm using my webcam, so the quality of this video won't be up to par of my HD camera, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, wonderful day. Here in Mississippi, the sun is shining. It is cold, but I have a jacket for that. I've been taking my echinacea. I've been trying to take it regularly every day. It's just a herbal supplement that boosts your immune system. I took it back in 2005, 2004, 2005 time frame. I did not get sick that winter. That was awesome. So, you might want to consider going to Walmart and picking yourself up a bottle for about $10 and take it according to the instructions just throughout the winter. And I guarantee you, you won't get sick. And if you do get sick, you won't stay sick for very long. So remember that echinacea. It looks like it's spelled in China, but it's ENCHINAECA, something like that. My spelling is terrible, but yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are having an enjoyable, profitable, wonderful, awesome-tastic day. So don't let the humbuggers ruin your day. Just smile and keep on going.